been a very rewarding year with this group, and to now kind of break through the barrier of the quarterfinal round, in particular with this group and the way we've done it to the Final Four, is a fitting end for this group, and we're looking forward to it. Two of our first three games, I believe, were UCSB and UCLA. And I've said all along those two games were among our best competition all year. And so it's a positive anytime you've played against those teams. And obviously I think some things have changed for sure. But I think you stack up, you can size yourself up against some of the top talent in the country. So, I mean, Yannick, as long as he's been here, he's been the guy. He was our leading goal scorer last year, and I think he's still, by one, our leading goal scorer this year. He's still the guy people talk about on our team. So, I mean, I know he's recognized as one of the top forwards in the country. I mean, just because he's second-team All-ACC, and I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's the case. Yannick's 6'6", and Adam's 6'2", 6'1". I mean, they're unlike any two forwards in the country, just in their size for sure. So there's a physical component that's tough for teams to deal with. But the combination of their strengths, Adam's more of a runner, faster, more mobile, yet Yannick is good in the zones, holding the ball up. So the combination of those two together presents a lot of problems for other teams. These three games that we've played here, in particular the last two, coming from behind in one of the games, which was big for me, in the Cal game. Defending a lead down the stretch with 6 minutes left against Notre Dame was big, and making sure we got that done. We were in the quarterfinals in 2004, so not last season but the season before, and 15 of the guys on my roster were on that team. There was also 15 guys on the roster that won 2 ACC championships in 03 and 04. So we've been in some big games, title games, and I don't think that I'm not worried about them being nervous or too young. I think that's one of our strengths. The first thing that pops out is that, and I've said this before, is that we are a team, capital letters, team. And it's not something that just happened by accident. It's not something that, we've worked on it, and I know I've said this before, we've worked on this since last November. We had a good season last year. We were second in the conference. But in the end, in November, in the first round of the ACC tournament, we lost to Clemson 4-1. And it really woke us up, not just the loss, but the way we lost. There was just a lot of things about that game that caught my attention as the head coach and our team's attention. And we started working on those things even while the season was still going on, which was only a couple more weeks at that time. But I think it's been a work in progress with these guys just becoming a team. All those little intangibles of being a team and being together and the discipline on the field and off the field. I mean, I think, to me, we have really worked at it, and it has really paid off. It's not an overconfidence. It's not an arrogance. One of the nice things, again, is that we know these teams, but we are a veteran team. We returned everybody from last year, and what I will say is I feel like we've been pretty good all year. Throughout the season you have your little spikes as you go, and we've had a few of those. Nothing major where we dropped and had a real concern. We've been pretty steady. But what's been really impressive about this group, I think since the Virginia Tech game, okay, and I would even maybe say the Maryland game, which is third week of October, we have started to go like this. And so one of the things you can look at is the number of goals that we're scoring from about the Maryland game on. Whereas in the first third of the season, we went through a stretch of 4 games. We had overtime 4 times in a row against teams that we should have been beaten by more than one goal in overtime. So I'm happy about where we are as a team and the fact that we are actually getting better in the postseason and hitting our stride.